Welcome to Off the Hanger, the fashion podcast where we delve deep into our guests' wardrobes, finding out their favourite fashion pieces and the stories behind them. This week's guest is fabulous drag queen, Plastique. I hope you enjoy this episode. Good morning, good morning. It is fabulous to have you on Off the Hanger. I am so excited about chatting with you and about your wardrobe. You cannot begin to imagine. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. I'm very, very excited. I'm a big fan. I will say that. I'll be by it. I watch. I'm a big Off the Hanger fan.
Oh my goodness, that is so lovely to hear. And I imagine there's quite a duality to your wardrobe because there are your everyday clothes, I imagine, but then there's also your fabulous Plastique outfits when you are transformed in drag to become that beautiful blonde bombshell that I see you on Instagram.
Yeah, there's it's weird really because there's the absolute masculinity, which is like my wardrobe's a big spectrum. There's the absolute masculinity and there's the ultra femininity, and it bridges that whole gap. So there's some stuff that like I would absolutely never wear in drag, and there's some stuff that I would never wear day to day, and then all this stuff that just kind of swaps between the two, which is quite fun.
Yeah, I think that's really fun. And I love this whole idea of gender fluidity in clothing. I think there's lots of brands that are starting to introduce this now. Obviously, ASOS springs to mind. They have loads of clothes that are either unisex or that are quite gender fluid, where I've looked in the menswear section because I've been styling a shoot and gone, hang on, do they make a women's version of that? Because that's amazing. And I think it must be vice versa. I love this idea that we're really starting to embrace the idea that clothes are clothes. And it's not men's clothes and women's clothes. It's just clothes. And we should all just get to wear whatever we think's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I've always been like that. Like when I was like 14, 15, I was going to buy like women's skinny jeans in Primark because they were cheaper and skinnier. But like, that's just how I've always been. It's a piece of fabric. I like the cut of women's jackets more. I like the cut of women's trousers more. You can't get good high-waisted pleated trousers in the men's section. You just can't. So I just buy what I like and what I suit.
And I agree completely. I will never buy a woman's shirt. Like if I want a really nice classic white shirt, it's straight to the men's department because the fit and the cut of them is just so much better than the like super skinny, weird tailored versions that they're giving to the women. I'm like, I'm not into that. I need a nice oversized, relaxed, the collar can open more. And yeah, it just, clothes are clothes. We should all just be buying whatever we're drawn to. Now,
But speaking of clothes, I love women's trousers. Designers need to start giving these bigger pockets.
Yeah.
Like I have a phone, a wallet, keys. That's why I've got such a ridiculous handbag collection, because of the size of women's pockets and trousers.
They're impossible. And if you have any sort of skinny trouser or skinny jean, you're not getting anything in those pockets. And I just think, well, maybe you should just take those front pockets out and just leave us with the back pockets. And then you don't get that ugly kind of silhouette of the pocket bag. Give us that nice kind of smooth finish at the front and we'll just have decent pockets at the back, because you're not getting anything in there without just creating loads of kind of bulges. It's not the vibe. Did you always love fashion? You mentioned you love fashion from being like 14. Do you have an earliest childhood fashion memory?
Yeah, I did. I think I always liked clothes. My parents always liked clothes. They were always very, like, they were a bit ridiculous when I was a child. Like, my baby grows came from, like, Phoenix. And I'm like, you two were absolutely insane. You need to just calm down. But, like, I remember being a kid, definitely, like, always in dungarees, always very 90s kid vibes. But for me personally, and I think this is where the whole drag thing started, my earliest proper fashion memories are going into my grandma's wardrobe and taking a long peasant skirt, pulling them up over my bust and wearing them as maxi dresses. And I remember my grandma she had a bay window in her living room, and I'd stand on the windowsill in the bay window, make her close the curtains and open them as if I was on stage in these maxi dresses. And I think that's where it all started.
That sounds fabulous, though. The idea of just kind of the reveal from behind the curtains is so theatrical. I love it.
And it was very much like, get that off before your dad comes and picks you up. And I was like, yeah, okay.
But I think to have that relationship with somebody who is very much just like clothes are clothes, wear what you want. If you want to wear that, dress up, that's fine. I think that's really like freeing and empowering, and it just allows you to experiment and discover who you are without feeling like you're being forced into a box.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I'm really lucky. Like, there's so many queer people who haven't had that background and haven't been able to like just express who they are. I'm from a very, very accepting family. I used to do panto when I was a kid, and I'd always be in a tutu or a leotard or something that any other boy wouldn't have been wearing as a child. No one batted an eyelid. There was never, Jack can't do that. Don't make them do that. It was very, yeah, just go do whatever. And I'm lucky. I am lucky.
That's brilliant, though. I love that for you. I love that you had that opportunity. What's the oldest thing in your wardrobe?
See now, if we're going like vintage, I've got a few vintage pieces. There's got like some fur coats and stuff that are like real fur, but they're vintage, and the animals died of old age, and there was no one was hurt. Or there's like, I like to go charity shopping, so like stuff like this is probably like 20, 30 years old. But for plastique's wardrobe, I'd say I still have the. This dress is the first dress I ever wore in drag 9 years ago. It's inside out because it hangs better that way, but it's from Phase 8. It's lace and fringe, and it came with like a thick nude lining that I cut out so I could just look a little bit more risque and sexy. This is like 9 years old now.
But it still looks wearable. It still looks like it's, it's doable. It's
I
not,
think I've got this kind of crazy narcissistic idea in my head that next year, when it's my 10-year anniversary in drag, I want to make a full coffee table book of my entire history in drag. Very Margot Robbie's new Barbie coffee table book. And reimagine all my old looks and redo them. So she's hanging around for that, and then maybe she'll get donated to a young little queen who needs her more than me.
But it's got quite a 20s vibe. I'm here for the fringing. And then obviously on stage, when you move, I think anything that's got that fluidity and that movement just brings that extra drama.
It does. And it's got like sequin in it. And you need to have something with sparkle when you're taking it to the stage. Just something that'll catch the light. But it was good. It was, the makeup and the hair at the time were horrendous because it was 9 years ago. I didn't have a clue what I was doing. But the dress was good. I stand by the dress.
The makeup and hair, I think, in drag is such an art form. It is incredible. Like, I am appalling at doing my own makeup. I'm barely scraping by. And then when I see these incredible drag queens, and particularly like I watch loads on TikTok, and they're doing this and they're going, just follow along. It's super easy. And I'm going, I am so lost. That is not easy. I don't know how you're doing this witchcraft, but it's so brilliant.
Anyone that says it's easy is lying. It's so not easy. You just get used to it. It's muscle memory. Like, eventually you know what you're doing, and then it's easy. But it's not easy to follow along at all.
Yeah. Don't listen to them. And I think it's a learned skill. I think it's something that takes a lot of practice. And I think for any of us, if I look back at pictures of myself from 10 years ago or 20 years ago, the hair and makeup is appalling. And we're all just on a nice learning process of, getting better a little bit each day. Now, what's the thing in your wardrobe that gets the most compliments? I think this is going to be really interesting from you.
I mean, there is so much here. I think there's certain pieces that you look at them and people will go, oh, that's plastic. I'll say on the mannequin back here, because it's too heavy to hang, is my New Year's Eve dress from last year, which is like 5 meters of velvet with hand rhinestone fireworks all over it. That got quite a few compliments, I will admit. But in terms of like classic pieces, and this looks crap on the hanger, but in person it's amazing. This fabric is so synonymous with like me. People just recognize it. It's like, this version is a top and a skirt, but I also have another version that's a dress, and a third version that is yet to see the light of day because I'm saving it for something really special. But that's like a classic plastique
A
kind of
classic
fabric.
pasty.
Always. Yeah,
That the print is amazing.
it was from, oh my God, if I can remember, it must be about 8 years old from a shop called Blacks in Blackpool. And we bought every meter that they had available. And then I had 3 things made out of it. I also have a pair of thigh-high boots in the same fabric
Oh,
that had been fabric covered.
they sound unbelievable.
Yeah. And a little matching beret, and there's a handbag somewhere. I have too much stuff. There's a handbag somewhere that's also in the same fabric.
But that just shows, though, if you find a fabric that is amazing, the amount that you can actually get made out of it to be able to then have the boots and the beret and the bag and everything, all the little bits that go with it that just really finish off those looks. That is incredible. I am such a sucker for a thigh-high boot. And in that print, oh my God, they sound like a dream.
And it's good because then you can mix and match. Like I've worn the beret and the boots, but with just like a little red dress. Or, and you can just pull different pieces together and make looks. I prefer the idea of styling my entire wardrobe capsually than I do having this one dress that can be worn with this one pair of shoes and this one wig and this one earring. I like everything to be very mix and match.
It's the only way I think that you get the most out of your wardrobe. I think otherwise you then very much have that non-sustainable aspect of, well, I can only wear this with that one thing. That means it's only going to get worn a very limited amount of times. Whereas if everything is mix and match, then you can go, right, well, that was bought as a real showstopper evening piece. But actually, if I just throw that on with some, ripped jeans and some cool trainers, it's going to work during the day. And I think that's the best way to get the most out of all of your pieces.
Absolutely. And I think that's how I've always been. And I think even with if I think back to school and stuff, I would mix up my school uniform. So I would always get in trouble, but I would always mix it up. I'd be like, right, okay, I'm going to wear my school uniform, but today I'm going to put the hoodie under the jumper, and then I'm going to throw a blazer over the top, and then I'm going to do this. Because I just get bored of everything looking the same all the time. So I'm like, mix it. Go crazy.
And I think the idea of a uniform, I get the point of them, but if you're anybody who kind of loves fashion and loves creating and kind of being creative in a fashion way or in a way of clothing, a uniform is so restrictive because you just have that kind of identikit idea of everybody looking exactly the same. And they're so with the girls, it's like, where's the level of your skirt? That's an inch too short. You need to pull that down. It's like, oh God, this is just so boring.
That's why the fashion gods invented shoes and handbags.
Yeah.
So that uniforms can still be individual.
Yeah, exactly. I remember some of my shoe choices at school were rogue, to say the least. Just very rogue choices for shoes that were not school appropriate at all. But, if I had very long trousers on, they couldn't see. It was,
I was always in a Cuban heel, but not like a Cuban heel, like a 2-3 inch heel. Yeah, I wonder why I got bullied. How did they know I was gay? I had no idea.
Hey, I think if you are remotely different in any sort of way, people are always going to find you and target you. I had the exact same thing. I'm a ginger. It was a given that it was just going to happen because that's what teenagers and kids are like at times, aren't they? So I think, it gives us a thick skin for being adults. And I think it molds us and shapes us into who we are. And it's horrible at the time, but I don't think I would ever change it.
Oh, no, it's character building.
Very.
As awful as it makes you the person you are. And I'm very much in the sense of everything happens for a reason.
Me too. I agree. Now, are you somebody who spends a lot on your wardrobe? I imagine the custom-made pieces that you have are quite expensive. What is the most expensive piece you have?
Custom-made pieces. To be fair, I'm quite thrifty with it because I'll get something made, but then, as I say, I'll rhinestone it myself. My husband will sit and rhinestone it for me. Where I spend money, really, in my wardrobe is not necessarily drag, but handbags.
Nice. Okay, this is exciting. What is the most expensive bag in your collection?
I can't. There's two here, and I can't decide. I can't remember which one was more expensive, but they're also my two favorite bags.
Okay.
This is like every day, just walking around. Prada tote bag. I love it. It fits my laptop. I take it everywhere. It goes with every outfit because it's nude and black, so you can wear it with all colours. So this was fairly up there price wise, but I love it, and it's very practical. The one that I've spent a lot of money on that isn't very practical is the Fendi.
Oh, I die. I die. Oh my God. I want one of those so badly. This is just torturous. That is beautiful.
I love it so much. Just throw it under. It has a strap. I never wear a bag with a strap. I like to just throw it under my arm. Very casual. A friend got married the other week, and I wore this with just a navy blue suit with a white t-shirt and the Fendi bag. No one was looking at the suit. Everyone was looking at the bag. Yeah. No one was looking at the bride. I felt awful. But that's where the expense is. But I think because I'm a size 11 shoe, I can't buy women's designer shoes. So I can justify it by buying more designer bags.
Yeah, there's only really Sophia Webster, isn't there, who does the extended sizing, which is a bit devastating. But the bags, oh my gosh. And you have fabulous taste in bags. Both of those are, chef's kiss.
I like stuff that, again, I like stuff that can be worn with anything. I tend not to buy black when it comes to accessories because I don't like wearing black with colour.
Mm-hmm.
I think it just dulls the colour. So I'd rather buy nude or white or beige or brown because I could still wear this Fendi with no black look.
Yeah.
And it's just
super chic.
It's chill. But it's very rare that I wear an all black look either. So
now, what's the newest addition to the wardrobe?
If we were doing this tomorrow, I'd have a brand new dress. I'm picking up tonight.
Tell me about the brand new dress and send me a picture of it.
Yes, I will absolutely. I'm wearing it this weekend because I've got an amazing gig this weekend because I'm working at Alton Towers this weekend in drag. So I had it made for that. In terms of newest, it would probably be all the stuff that I've worn for Newcastle Drag Idol, which is a competition in Newcastle. And I'm a judge, which is very exciting. So we just had like a full season of that. So I wore a crazy, ridiculous amount of stuff, including things like I have too much stuff.
Same. Absolutely. Problem is the same here. Don't worry. I don't think it's true, though. I don't think we can ever have too much stuff.
I did a photo shoot for every single one of these looks, and now I can't find. I will send you them all because they're all amazing. But every year I do 6 brand new, amazing kind of looks to pull everything together. I treat fashion. I like to think I'm a celebrity stylist for myself. So when you see something like Margot Robbie's press tour looks for Barbie, that's how I approach every situation. Like, say this gig at the weekend at Alton Towers, I was like, right, okay, what's the vibe going to be for this year? Because last year I did 3 matching looks, which weren't matching, but they were all the same colour stories. So this was the finale piece.
That's fabulous.
Yes, I was like, let's go let's go pink, orange, and blue. So that was the finale piece, which is amazing. And then there was other pieces. So then there was the little checkerboard mini, which was like in the same fabric but different. And then there was a matching jumpsuit, which was in prints and blues. So I like to put together like almost a mini collection when I'm going away to do something. So this weekend it's all black and white because I thought, let's strip it back, just go crazy and go black and white.
That's incredible, though. It is like you are not only a celebrity stylist, but also a fashion designer creating your collections for the season. And you are like curating these beautiful collections of pieces that work in these gorgeous colour palettes. It's such an incredibly creative way to dress.
Well, that's kind of how I got into drag. I was studying fashion design at university. And most people get into drag because they've got a background in theatre, which I did. I've done theatre. But I was designing women's wear and I was like, God, I wish I could wear this. And I was like, fuck it, I'm going to wear this. Like, Like, so it's funny that you pick up on that because that's how I create. I'm just designing collections, and then that's just who I am this event.
And I love this idea. I do really enjoy it when celebrities work with their stylists to do this for certain things. So, obviously, prime example is Margot Robbie with Barbie. The other one I love at the moment has been Zendaya's press tour for Challengers. Oh,
So
the Loewe and then the shoes and the, oh my gosh, just incredible.
but Zendaya is such a method. She does it for every film.
Yes.
Like, Spider-Man was amazing. She did like different Spider-Man
June,
villains.
the June where she wore the Mugler. It was brilliant. Her relationship with her stylist Law Roach is unparalleled. I think they are just making fashion magic, the pair of them.
I 100% agree. She's on the cover of both US and UK Vogue this month or last month. It's when you get to that kind of level of status where Vogue goes, yeah, have both.
Yeah, covers. Exactly. Exactly.
It doesn't happen often. I remember maybe Adele. Adele's the only one that's springing to mind. But it's very rare that they put you across both covers.
And I think it's really interesting. I saw a little clip of an interview with Law Roach recently where he was saying that in the beginning, when they had approached certain brands, they weren't forthcoming in giving her things because she wasn't quite yet a big enough name. I think Chanel was one, Gucci was one. I can't remember what the other one was. And so she has never worn them on a carpet. She's never worn them on the red carpet because he was like, if you say no, then honey, it's a no for life. It's not just a no for now until she's like the biggest superstar in the world. It's a no for life. So she's worn them in editorials and for magazine shoots, but you'll never see her on the red carpet in one of those brands because they said no to her. And I'm like, I'm here for this level of pettiness. This is my vibe too.
That would exactly be. Not that would ever happen. No. The closest I'd get would be like Zara going, no, you can't do that. And me going, no, I will never wear Zara again. That is it.
They'd be like, if it was me, they'd be like, yeah, fine. You're not even that great a customer. You just shuffle on by later. And I'm like, you'll never see me again. That's it.
Yeah. They don't have my size. I'm like, no, that's it. Done.
Are you quite sentimental about the pieces in your wardrobe? Do you tend to, obviously you've hung on to the dress from your first drag dress. So do you really like to hang on to things?
No, I'm not. I kept this one because it has a specialness to it. And it wasn't cheap. But like, I've kept on with, I think the most sentimental thing in my wardrobe, because I'll wear this again. So I don't see this as sentimental. This is just something I'm keeping because I'm going to wear it again. There's only one thing in my wardrobe I think I'll never wear again, which I'm probably only keeping for sentiment. The suit from my wedding.
Oh, that's lovely.
It's the only thing that I think I'll never, because I'm not, it's a nice suit. It's a lovely suit. We spent money on it. I'm just not really a suiting person. So I don't think I'll ever wear it again. I don't like shirts with cufflinks, so I'll never wear the shirt again. But it's there because I couldn't bring myself to get rid of it.
I think that's really nice, though. It's the fact that such a special day is tied up in the memories of that suit. And I think you're right. Just hang on to it. It's lovely to have.
I've worn the shoes. My wedding shoes I've worn a lot since because shoes are shoes. But the suit will just kind of hang there forever.
What's the piece in your wardrobe that most sums you up?
I think people would probably say this.
That is fabulous. Look at how pink that is. Pink and rhinestones and cropped and wow.
Yeah, it's like cropped leather. The jacket itself is from Pretty Little Thing, which was just the plain pink jacket. And then we screwed in all the studs, rhinestoned it, made the whole thing. But I will throw this over anything. Anything in my drag wardrobe, I'm just like, yeah, throw the pink jacket over the top because it just gives it so much extra pizzazz.
That's incredible. But it's that must have taken hours of work, though. That's not a quick process, is it?
Yeah, it was about 2 days. I wore it for Northern Pride last year. There's a matching mini skirt because I wanted like that cute look. But yeah, I love this piece, and I think it sums me up because I wear a lot of pink. I love rhinestones. And it's got like that slightly punkier edge that I have with the studs.
And I think that's a real testament to the idea of buying something that's relatively affordable and then customizing it to make it something that's really special.
Yeah, it was like a £32 jacket, and then maybe no more than about £30 worth of studs and rhinestones. It's not like a crazy amount of money. You're looking at like 60 quid total plus labour. But luckily, I'm married. I'm married into that, so I get the labour for free. But it's RuPaul says it a lot on Drag Race. If you're going to buy something shop bought, glitter the shit out of it, and that's what I do.
And I think, were you to go out and just hunt that thing down in that form, it would be so expensive and, could end up being quite cost prohibitive. Whereas to actually just make it, put the effort in yourself, then you get that custom one-off bespoke piece, which is even better.
And like the cost per wear on something like that for me now must be down to like 50p. I wear that so much.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant. Now, have you ever had a wardrobe malfunction or a fashion faux pas that you would like to share?
It's less a fashion faux pas and more of a skincare faux pas, maybe.
Oh, okay, interesting.
I was wearing a very gorgeous, it might be here, it might be, no, I was wearing this very, very gorgeous dress to host an outdoor pride one year. Ooh. And it's amazing, and it's purple and silver, and it's rhinestoned, and it's but it's very, very off the shoulder. And it was a very cloudy day, quite a warm day, unusually warm for the north, but very cloudy, so I didn't realise how sunny it was. And I was on stage for a good 2 hours, and I left the stage with 3rd-degree burns from the sun because I didn't put sun cream on, and I was wearing an off-the-shoulder dress.
Oh my!
That's probably my biggest fashion faux pas.
Oh, you see, I burn to a crisp. I am not. The sun and I are not friends. We're not even like mild acquaintances. We just, avoid each other like the plague. And I think the amount of times where I have, not so much now because I had a very bad burning incident in Mexico where I blistered all of my back. It was just covered in like those hideous water blisters. But then I'd burn my thighs and then I'd burnt the back of my calves. So I couldn't lie anywhere. I literally couldn't sleep for the rest of this holiday because I was so burnt in weird places. And I was just like, why does this happen to me all the time?
It happened to me in Lanzarote. Did they give you that? Is it Silver Derm, which is that like thick cream that's got silver in it? Yeah. Oh god, it's horrendous. But yeah, this is the ginger skin. I come from a very ginger family. Yeah. So
this is it. This ginger skin, it's just not the one. It's not the one. My poor child, the amount of times where I am just covering him in sun cream before he goes to school. And he's like, Mom, no one else has to have this. And I'm like, I know, but I'm sorry, you're just going to burn.
I've put Factor 50 on to sit next to this open blind today because I just don't trust myself.
That is me now. I am Factor 50 on my face all year round because I'm just like, I just can't.
That's good. You should be wearing, this is a PSA for all the people watching. You should be wearing like SPF every day anyway because it'll stop you aging quick.
And I think because I'm originally from the north, I think when you live in the north, you think, oh, well, the sun's not that strong. We don't really see the sun that often, but it's there. And by God, it can get you.
And it did in that dress.
It really did. And then also you afterwards, you've got that thing of, well, what can I now wear to perform in that doesn't just show off this horrendous burn?
It was, what else can I wear that doesn't sit on my shoulders either as well? And it was really, I ended up that night because for a Pride weekend in Newcastle normally means I start work at about 7 o'clock on a Friday night and I finish work at about midnight on the Sunday. And it's like the full way through. So I was DJing the night. So I'd hosted on the daytime, got the burns, had a DJ on the night time. I ended up DJing just in a strapless bra and knickers because it was the only thing that wasn't touching my body. But it wasn't a pretty look. I will not send you photos of that. But it was not a pretty look.
Was it bejeweled at least?
No, it was just what I had on. And I was like,
just going to take off my clothes and this is what I'm going to wear.
Pretty much.
Good for you. At least, in that kind of circumstance and arena, it was fine. It was probably not it was probably marginally frowned upon, but not so much,
Everyone was really drunk and really having a good Pride. No one cared.
Exactly. Pride. Whatever happens at Pride stays at Pride. No one needs to know. Now, what are your favourite shoes? Are you quite tall?
I'm 5'10".
Okay.
Before a heel.
Yes.
So I could put on I've got crazy 8-inch heels, stuff like this. Makes me really tall.
Amazing.
But they're just I just wear those to go to John Lewis and stuff. They're just my everyday kind of shoes. But it's hard to get heels in my size. I find the best place is Only Maker or Pleaser. But ASOS have started doing a very big size inclusive range, which is great because I just buy plain nude ASOS heels and then jazz them up to go with different looks. So these are all plain ASOS heels that I just...
I love it. So how have you done that? That is so cool.
So these were just a nude stiletto and then pink leather paint, yellow rhinestones, stick and applique on the side.
They are fabulous.
Yeah. And then these were just nude again, but we fabric covered them with bandanas.
Oh my goodness, you and your husband are so talented. This is unbelievable. Oh my God, I'm going to be sending you custom make things for me.
But I think these are my new favourite, my current favourite, but it changes every week. And these were nude and clear PVC, and then we rhinestoned them pink and orange, kind of.
Oh, I love the mismatch, so that you've got the pink heel, the orange heel, and then the pink toe and the orange toe in there. Yeah, that's so cool.
But that's all from that obsession with those few episodes of Sex and the City when they're in LA and Carrie's got mismatched shoes.
Yeah,
that's where it comes from.
But it's such a creative thing to do. I just have visions of you and your husband sitting watching TV at night, just rhinestoning things. Is this what happens?
Yeah, that's pretty much our life. We've just been rhinestoning for this weekend, this week. It's fun. I don't mind it. I find it very therapeutic. It's it's good. You can stick on a podcast, off the hanger, stick that on, and then you just sit and rhinestone. That's how I ended up finding your podcast, because I just scroll through YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, whatever, and just find something to put on where you don't have to give it your full visual attention, but you can still get all the information audibly. And then I just rhinestone.
I think that's incredible. I'm loving everybody's content at the moment, making their outfits for the Eras tour, for the Taylor Swift Eras tour. There's a girl I've seen who's made this unbelievable beaded dress, and it's got all little Taylor-related things on it, like the cats and the all sorts. It's so incredible. And I'm just I don't think I've got that level of talent to pull something like that off, but I maybe should find a more basic way to do this.
I think everyone has that level of talent to pull something like that off. It's not that hard. And I say this to the young queens that are starting out. Get yourself a plain white dress or a plain mesh dress. There's so many of my dresses that are just stuff that I bought that you just stick rhinestones on. It's not... I'm trying to find a good example. This is from ASOS, but it's just once you stick rhinestones on it and it catches the light, you can't really see, but just tiny little rhinestones all over it. It looks so much better. This was a jacket blazer dress from ASOS that we rhinestone pinstripes onto.
That's incredible.
Yeah. But it's just a few rhinestones and a basic.
Rhinestone, I think what she was doing with that beaded one is she was fully hand stitching all these beads on, and I think that is beyond me. But the idea of rhinestoning, I think I could get involved with this. And all these girls that I keep seeing doing their boots, making these kind of glitter boots and things, I'm I can do a bit of glue and a bit of glitter. That'll be fine.
Great. That's the easiest way to do it.
Exactly. That's what I'm here for. I want something that's got maximum impact with minimal skill required. Now, if you could have a dream fashion item, it can be anything you like. It doesn't have to be practical. You can have it irrespective of cost. You're just gifted it. What would you have?
The next big ticket item on my list that I really want is the Margot from the Row That's like my next dream handbag. Very, very expensive dream to have. That if it was just handed to me, that would be it.
Which one would you have? Because it's obviously in a few different leathers and colours. And what would you have?
Brown suede.
Nice.
Yeah, just classic. I don't have a suede. I've got canvas, I've got leather, I need a suede.
So do you follow Victoria McGrath, who used to be in the front?
Yes, yes.
She has one, doesn't she? In the front.
It was on my mood board before Victoria. I don't want to say she copied me, but I've got a feeling she
was heavily influenced by your style, I feel. Yeah, as soon as I saw her get one, I was just like, oh, that's really nice. Really nice.
Yeah. She's really evolved into herself lately as well. She's become much more quiet luxury, and high-end than she was when she started out. It's nice. I like to see people's style evolve because I think style is so evolutionary over the course of your life.
I agree completely. I think there's definite people who, when I first started following them, their look and their aesthetic was completely different. And I think it's a natural process that you evolve and that you change and that, you know, you move into different things as your life changes. I think I find it weird if somebody sticks in the same aesthetic, because who in their like mid-30s has got the same aesthetic as they did when they were 20? And like, you just don't. You change and you grow because you just develop as a person.
I agree. But I think you need to have a sense of style to be able to have that evolution. I think people confuse it quite regularly, having access to fashion and having a sense of style on synonymous with one another. And I think my husband's quite a good example. He won't shop anywhere outside of ASOS sample sale. If he has to spend more than £10 on something, that blows his mind because it's just pieces of clothing. But he's just so chilled with his style. He's very dress pants, trainers, T-shirts, really cool, always really well accessorized, a good belt, a good watch, whatever, like really chill, but won't spend a fortune. And then you've got people who, like on the cast of like Geordie Shore, who've got loads of money, go to flannels every week, but look like garbage.
Yeah, I think there is always going to be that kind of aspect with people who have a lot of money and not a lot of style. And then you get that absolute reverse of people who have no money at all, but are so uniquely stylish. They just have it kind of in their core that they are a really stylish person. They've got their own unique sense of style. And I love that kind of diversity. And I think that's something I do try and get across with the guests that I have on Off the Hanger. It's not, I never wanted this to be like a celebrity podcast of just, oh, I'm a celeb and this is what my stylist found me and this is what all my money bought me. I wanted it to be about just really unique, stylish people, because everybody's style journey is different and everybody likes different things. And I think there's no right or wrong answer unless it's Crocs, and then I'm sorry, but you're in the wrong camp. My personal opinion, feel free to come to me.
You wouldn't have liked me the last few weeks. I had a sprained ankle. I had a sprained ankle and I bought my first pair of Crocs because they were the only thing that was.
You know what? They were for medicinal reasons. That is fine. That is acceptable. They were for medicinal reasons only. Whereas I just can't. They're the only thing that I'm like, I really can't get on board with that.
They're a good indoor or garden shoe. If my dentist has Crocs, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, you see, I think I'm traumatized that many, many years ago, when I modelled, I used to do bits of film extra work, and I was in a film, and I have a very famous party scene in this film. And because it was a night shoot, in between takes, wardrobe would run in and try and give us all Crocs. And I was like, my feet will bleed before I put those on my feet. I am in thigh-high stiletto boots. I am stood next to Vin Diesel. I am not wearing Crocs, babe. I am sorry.
Fair.
There is a level and I am not going below it.
Wardrobe don't seem like it. Anytime I've been on set for anything, wardrobe have a very different idea of how they think people need to present themselves.
Yeah.
I remember I was in one of Robin's music videos and they were like, do you want to wear it's a really long day, do you want a shorter heel or do maybe something like, and they were desperate to get me into like just a 1 inch kind of shoe. And I was like,
I can't hear
like,
not your vibe at all. I can feel the disgust radiating through your screen.
And then I had like a bright orange wig on, and they were like, do you have anything in a more natural color? And I was like, absolutely not, because I know for a fact, if we do a wide shot, who's people going to see first?
Exactly.
I was like, I'll keep the orange. Yes. I'm good.
I am good with this, thanks. I do remember with them, they tried to give me a very, very small bikini that had a tiger on the front of it. And my kind of response to that was, have you seen the color of my skin? Like, I am so white that if you put me in the background of any shot wearing just this bikini, I am going to be glowing because this is at night. All you are going to see is the light bouncing off my skin. And like, that is it's not the vibe. Also, it's October. So
yeah.
Not really feeling that. In the end, I ended up in like little hot pants and a top and things. But because I had thigh-high boots on, I could put things down my boots. So I had some snacks. I had my phone. I was very well prepared in those boots.
Yeah. I always used to be back when I was a smoker. If I was on set for something that had nothing on me, I'd have cigarettes at the back of my rig, so I could always go for a cigarette when I had a break, and I didn't have to run to anywhere to get one.
I love that. Did you have a lighter up there, or did you just have to get a light off someone?
So I put a lighter inside the box of the cigarettes, and then just stick it up
because then obviously you don't want that fire hazard of there being just a lighter up there in case somehow exactly that wig would go up in flames.
Oh my god, some of them are so plasticky and covered in so much hairspray they would go up like.
Now to finish on, do you have a piece of fashion advice that you would have given to your younger self?
My younger self, especially when I first started drag, I would tell myself to stop spending money and like save it and then invest in good pieces, because I wasted so much money going to Primark or going to Topshop or whatever and just buying anything I could because I had the money to do it, and none of it was great and none of it I own anymore. It's all gone. I wish I'd kind of, instead of buying 10 ugly dresses, I wish I'd put the money together to buy one nice dress.
I think it's the instant gratification thing. I think that's what's always got me in that sense. It's that, I could save up and not buy those next 10 pieces and then eventually get that one thing. Or I could have that instant gratification moment now. And it is that kind of dopamine high of it being that instant high, but then you regret it afterwards.
So like, I have the worst shopping addiction in the world. Like the second I have money, I have to either give it to someone else or I'm going shopping. There is no way. I'm so bad. My husband's got like one of those sleep calming apps, and he was listening to one the other night, and it was very nice. And it was like, oh, you're walking down the street and it's raining and you've got an umbrella and you see a light across the road, and I'm going, oh my god, this is lovely. And you walk across the road to the light, and I was like drifting off, and they were like, the light's coming from a shop window, and I was like, what, a shop window? Wide awake.
What shop window?
What did they sell?
That's a nice shoe. Where's that bag?
Is there a sale on? I'm like instantly awake. And then I just had to go doom scroll ASOS for a bit just to get the fix.
Didn't quite have the right effect. Oh.
No, not at all.
Oh, well, from a fellow shopaholic, you have been the most fabulous guest. I've really enjoyed chatting with you. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please remember to check out some more episodes of Off the Hanger.